Hi guys, welcome to the Bluestone Villa and welcome to our last Victorian house renovation diary of 2020. Today's video is mainly focusing on our DIY wall paneling kind of experience and journey. We are first time wall panelers. We have never done wall paneling before, and I have to say James was a little bit apprehensive when I suggested that it was something that I wanted to do here in our master bedroom. But actually once we got going, we found it relatively simple, which I think is kind of the general consensus when you do this. So as I said, today's video is mainly going to focus on our kind of DIY wall paneling design process and approach. We managed to successfully install it in one weekend, and then we did kind of snagging and painting the following days from that. And you kind of get to see the wall paneling come together from kind of the first piece of moulding being placed to the last drop of paint going on it. If you do have any wall paneling questions that you don't feel were covered off in this video, then please do pop them below. I'm absolutely happy to answer any questions that I'm able to. On top of that, obviously this is a renovation diary, so it kind of shares things as they happen and also has interspersed other footage of other renovation projects that we have going on here, including the start of our renovation of one of our top floor rooms, which is kind of our office / spare bedroom. So if you are looking at this and you are thinking of embarking on wall paneling for the first time and would like kind of a more broken down, specific step-by-step how-to tutorial video, then please do also let me know, and I'm absolutely happy to kind of incorporate that in my content over the next few weeks. And finally, before we get going, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your support this year, for every kind of view and like, comment, and especially if you have subscribed to Life at the Bluestone Villa this year. It's very much appreciated, and I'm really excited for 2021 and all of the projects and plans and kind of renovation content that I'll be sharing on this channel going forward. In the next week, I'm actually going to be sharing a video that talks about our plans and goals for 2021 and kind of gives you a bit of a brief before of some of those projects as well. So if you are new here or you're not subscribed, I would love for you to stick around and hit that subscribe button so that you can join us for the coming year. But without further ado, let's get into the renovation diary. We've got the top parts of the paneling done around the room. This is the way we've done it. We've looked at a couple of different ways you can do it, like marking it all out on the walls. But this is just the way that we've decided to do it, which is to do the top first. So we were just doing one long box each, as you can see here. Because James didn't want to overcomplicate things, we're doing like a larger box at the top and then a smaller box at the bottom. But actually, now that we're doing it, he's changed his mind. So our method of madness is to do the top one first and then move to these ones under the windows, because they will dictate what the bottom ones everywhere else will look like. So I've just been marking these up on the wall and also ruining my windows at the same point, annoyingly. Pencil marks, I'm gonna have to repaint those. But yeah, this is like the, don't know if you can make out the lines, but this is faintly what that will look like. I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair. Okay.
Around the wall. How's that look? Does that
looks good to me?
Get this one in and I'll smooth it down. 48.5.
So this is the end of day one of panelling. So we've got all of the top of the panels in. I'll take you around the corner here. We were just going to do one large panel because James was a bit worried about it being quite complicated doing 2 layers or like 2 levels. But actually, working things out like mathematically and like making it look like appropriate on the walls and what have you, he then decided actually the two would work better and would make more sense. So we've put all the top ones in so we could at least figure out how far from the picture out we wanted to put these top panels in. And then we've immediately then gone on to the bottom ones on this wall here where the bay window is. So we've finished all of those today, so that they then kind of dictate then where the rest of the panel above goes, and also dictates where kind of some of the sizings, etc., of the smaller ones around the bottom as well. So we're going to come back in here tomorrow and carry on. Ideally, we'd finish tomorrow, but who knows? We probably worked for about 5 to 6 hours today on this, and this is how far we've got. So not hugely far, but that being said, these bottom ones kind of went in quicker and quicker because the more we did, like every panel kind of helps you map out the next panel in our case anyway. So the more we did, the more we've actually managed to kind of achieve and at a quicker pace. So who knows, maybe tomorrow we will be able to blitz through this and get it all done. But otherwise, we might be checking in again next Saturday as well. And then the only corner or like walls that aren't going to have any panelling are these 2 here. And that's because that's where our IKEA Pax wardrobes are going to go. And I think we're going to try and make them look like they're kind of fitted in some ways. I don't know if that will work, but either way, there's no point putting panelling on there when we're just going to cover it up. So that's why there's nothing on there. So actually, we've been really lucky in a way because this wall here is actually the only wall where we have multiple panels on that same wall. Every other wall only has kind of the one and then the one below, the one and the one below. So a lot of the way we've worked out these panels has purely been dictated by the wall itself, rather than there being huge amounts of like great mathematical and measuring skills required. Renovation breakfast sandwich of dreams. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of panelling. We are now going to try and complete the panels. So we wanted to get these bottom ones in first, because that obviously dictates the rest of the bottom ones. So now we can actually go ahead and finish the top ones. So we've got all the top lines in, so we can do them box by box. We're going to start across here on this one here and move around the room, and then come back to this one over here at the very last, just because we've got just so much stuff there. So we'll take that all out, so we can do that very last one. It's about 11 o'clock. We wanted to obviously not upset our neighbours too much on a Sunday. And I think we're going to go till about 4 or so perhaps today. So hopefully we'll get a lot of it done, most of it done. You never know, even all of it. But yeah, that's where we're at. We might have to check in again next Saturday just to finish the last bits. And hopefully we have enough mouldings as well. The moulding we've gone for is actually from Wicks. Now, a few renovation diaries ago, you would have seen me say that we've picked one from B&Q, but actually this is very similar in terms of profile to the B&Q one, and it's also very similar in profile to our picture rail as well, which is what we liked about it. This was just a bit cheaper by I think about 40p, and I think we spent about £200 on mouldings, so that would have been, no, we spent about 120 I think on mouldings. It would have been closer to £200 I think, or something like that, if we'd got the B&Q ones. So we've just gone with that, and they'll all be painted white like the rest of the room when I get round to that bit. And in terms of adhesive, we're just using this Wix instant grab adhesive, and actually we were both saying that we're really impressed with this. It's just, there actually isn't a lot of time to sort it out. So if you're a bit nervous and a bit worried, then you don't have a lot of time to rectify a situation. But actually we found that fine, and yeah, it's stuck really quickly. We've only had to put panel pins in a few. So the idea around the panel pins is if, for example, the wall isn't quite flat, which in an older house can very likely be the case. So for example, this one here, you can probably see it bows slightly off of the wall, and that's just because the wall isn't flat. So we didn't actually need to use panel pins for that one, but you could use them just to basically hold it in place until the glue is fully dry, and then you can take them out. And then what we'll do is any gaps like that, we'll just add in some caulk so that it's got a kind of a nice smarter finish, and then obviously paint on top of that. It's a horrible day today in Tunbridge Wells, I have to say. It's like really miserable, really blowy, really rainy. So perfect day to be stuck indoors because we're all on lockdown and working on some DIY projects. this is our next project. Is one of the rooms on the top floor, which is, we use it mainly as an office, but it has a sofa bed in here as well. We've swatched lots of different blues here, but we're actually going with this one here, which is called Stone Blue, oddly enough. Not chosen intentionally, but it genuinely is the one that works nicest in this room. So the ceilings are going to be white, and then that stone blue is going to be on all the walls, all of the woodwork, and we're also going to have it on the floor as well. So it's going to be quite a different style than what we've done previously, but we think it's going to look really cool. And then on this wall here, which is really cool, and yeah, just will be so impressed when James does it. So James has become really handy, as we all know. And he is going to actually be building a bookcase that goes all the way along this wall. Cleared everything out. James would usually work in here at the moment, and we have a plasterer coming today, so the plasterer is going to come and board this ceiling and skim it and what have you, because look, it's kind of had like lining paper or wallpaper put on there, and these ridges here, all of our ceilings are the old original plaster, so they kind of eventually start to crumble a bit. So we're just going to seal those all up and resolve that, and we're doing the same out here. So I'm back in this room today, just caulking around the edges of the panelling, and I thought this was a really good place to stop and show you what I'm doing, because once it focuses, this particular bit of panelling here, if you can see, has quite a large gap between the wall and the panelling. It's just where the wall's probably a bit uneven, so it's not the whole way down. This is the biggest I've seen so far, so I'm basically just using caulk down there with my finger and then wiping it with a wet cloth. I've been filling in gaps like this as well. Done all over there and all around here, but I've still got all of that to do. You gave a little smile to the camera then, James. I don't know if it was a grand reveal, but...
Well, the window looks a lot bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, I always think that about all of them. Hi guys, so I've been putting the first coat of Dulux Brilliant White Eggshell on the panelling. So I've just got these last two panels to do over here. Excuse James's jeans drying. This has probably taken me about a day, basically. I started yesterday lunchtime, and I started yesterday lunchtime, and I did it until about 4:35 yesterday, and then I started about 9:30 this morning, and it's about lunchtime now. So yeah, I'd say it's taken a day, just over a day, a long day's work to get the first coat on. It's a bit fiddly at times, but otherwise, yeah, it's been fine. And I thought I would give you a bit of a quick update in this room. So this is on the top floor. I can't remember what I filmed in here before, but we had the ceiling replastered. We've now had that, well, skimmed, should I say. We've now had a mist coat put on that. James did that last night, and he also put on Farrenball undercoat, which we've never actually used before. We've used Farrenball paint practically throughout. The white is the only one that we have used a different paint for. And yeah, we've never used the undercoat, but we are this time. I think James just wanted to try it out, so I'll let you know what we think of it. But I quite like the colour, it's a bit calming in here. And just to remind you, we're going to paint this stone blue in here, and it's going to be walls, woodwork, not around the window because that's UPVC unfortunately, woodwork and floors. And James has actually just in the middle of the night ordered our cast iron radiator because they kept on blocking orders when you try to log on, like try to do it in the morning, and it said it rebooted at midnight. So last night he woke up at like 1 and ordered it in bed, and then hilariously he checked this morning just to double check over a few things, and he could have ordered it this morning fine. So classic. So yeah, that's where we're at with this. James is moving at lightning speed in here. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened here, but I didn't seem to have any YouTube footage of the finished paneling painted. I seem to have just taken a shot for Instagram, but I think this gives you a bit of an idea of what it looks like. And I'll also insert some additional imagery as well of it fully painted. This took about 3 coats of the eggshell. And perhaps the rushed ending to this is because we were actually having carpet fitted in this room on the 1st of December, so the next day. So we were under kind of a bit of a strict deadline with it. I am planning to do an empty room tour in the new year so that you can see the transformation from the complete before to now. I really think the paneling has added a layer to this room. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.